forgot you're playing touch butt with that dork in the park.
There's a little snake in the grass.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
No forget Jesus, people.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Hey, Pussy, are you still there?
I'm back.
Who the fuck is that guy? Break out the red panties. We're rich, baby.
I would like to introduce.
Welcome to the MMA for Money Show, episode 89. I am your host, Mike Copenever, also known as Real Mike. You can find me on Twitter at Don't Cope Just Win. I'm joined with the producer of the MMA for Money Show, my boy T, at Saints_504 on Twitter. So make sure you go give him a follow. He's the man involved, behind the scenes that puts all these videos up and gives us all the cool stuff. So how you doing, my boy?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to be here. Got a nice card coming up this weekend. People still sleeping on my dude Chandler, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, buddy. They sure are. They're sleeping on our boy, but someone might be sleeping later in the night on UFC Saturday. So shout out to the 94 people live already watching. Shout out to Moose1032. Appreciate you in the chat. Jason Torello, one of the best sports bettors in the world. Jackie Girl, every single one of you guys who take part here and make the MMA for Money show what it is. Greatly appreciate you. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our sponsors of the MMA for Money show. First sponsor would be Melon Hats, MELIN.com. Melon brand hats. They're luxury line hats, like one of the ones I'm sporting right now. They use the best luxury line, materials, that really intricate stuff, really cool patterns. Some of them are waterproof. So if you go wakeboarding or go to the beach a lot, make sure you get yourself a Melon hat. There's the top of the line stuff. My buddy Brian McDonald is one of the co-founders. Super stoked to be able to represent his company, just like Michael Chandler, sponsored by Melon Brand. So we're just going to be repping Melon Brand all day. So thank you, Melon, for the support, and go check them out. Secondly, it's a huge honor for me to have Fokai Clothing, FokaiStuff.com, FOKAI Stuff.com. That's Guamanian, from Guam. Some of the best fight gear that's come out ever since. They sponsor Brandon Vera, Herman Toronto, and over in San Diego at Game Bred Training Facility. So shout out to Herman down there. Fights in the PFL as well. Former Bellator fighter. My brother's protege, just a stud in general. And last but not least, we got my sponsor all the way from Amsterdam, Spliff Seeds, SPLIFF Seeds. If you look them up on Google and you look up Lemon Cream Kush, you will the main picture will be my plant that's featured. So it's a big honor for me. So if you guys like MJ and like growing, make sure to go support Spliff Seeds for this growing season. Get yourself some sick genetics so you can grow that fire. But with that said, I just appreciate each and every one of you guys always supporting the show. I can't wait to get into last week's UFC because, all we've been doing on the MMA for Money show is just W's, baby. Winning 6 bets in a row now, guys. I don't know what else I need to do for you. It's 6 bets in a row on UFC that I've just absolutely dominated. It's 4 weeks in a row. Like, you can go to these touts and pay them as much money as you want, and they still aren't keeping up with the kid, the KOPE. They can't be me, and you don't even got to pay me. It's all free. Me and T, we're here to give you the best content possible when it comes to mixed martial arts. There is no bias, no jibber jabber in between, no feelings, no sponsors going to change my bets. There's not going to be a fighter that I love too much that's going to make me bet on them and make you lose your money. So I want you guys to always know me and T, we put our best in the show to give you guys the best content possible, cut you guys the best videos. I also want to shout out Mel B just in the chat. She's one of our best supporters. I appreciate you so much. And then we got the wonderful Erica in the house, and one of the great supporter and wonderful woman in down in Louisiana. So appreciate having you here, the 97 of you guys viewing. But we'll get into the review of last week's card. It was supposed to be obviously Sandhagen versus Dillashaw. We'd have a lot more fun to talk about that main event, but we won't start QQing right now. But first up on the card, folks, was our bet. And our bet was Carlson Harris. Absolutely for you guys. And we're giving crypto advice. I mean, dude, we gave XLM, it's already flew. We've given Chainlink, it's already flew. I mean, we've given Ocean, it's flown. I mean, dude, you guys, how much more are you with the W? It was the only bet of the night because the other one got canceled, thank God. But the end of the day, it's another 1 unit win for the team. How did you like that bet there, T, that we cashed?
Oh, man, that was an easy one. But what I'll say is the dude didn't tap. Like you making fun of him, but he didn't tap. He straight up went to sleep. But
Yeah, I'll
you
give
gotta
him
love
that,
that,
but
bro.
I'll give him that. I think he didn't tap because he was he tapped too many times before. He finally realized it was just
I
easier
think
to
he
go.
was about to tap and he just couldn't. It was too late.
Yeah, and
I was just,
dude, it was so deep because Harris Carlson had him just blocked in deep, bro, and
yeah, he got him.
you weren't getting out of that. It was a wrap, especially round one. If you do jiu-jitsu or wrestling, you know right away that dude, when a guy's got you that deep, there's no sweat, there's nothing to get you out of there. You are F City, baby. I want to shout out to my boy Devin Beers, Ranger, one of my best friends from Simi Valley, California. Love you, bro. Appreciate the Bravo Award. I literally, dude, one of my best friends for life, bad boys for life, straight Mike, Larry, and Martin Lawrence style. So appreciate you. Always supporting Dev. But yeah, man, cash that bet so easy. It was almost so easy that you're like, wow, bro. I mean, at first I thought I was kind of betting on just like a new guy, he was his debut pretty much. But no, dude, this guy fucking just straight slaughtered the kid. Christian Aguilera looks softer than soft. Cash that bet for us. So we'll move on to the next fight. Next fight of the night, we had Park Wan Yong. He fought Tafan Ninjuku. At this fight, it was a 3-round decision win by Park. It's kind of what I expected because of the size advantage of Park and whatnot. But T and I kind of liked Tafan. We thought he might have enough talent and power to be able to Park literally on the floor on the canvas with a KO, but it didn't happen. We didn't bet on that type of jibber jabber, so it is what it is. We did not advise anyone to bet that. So shout out to Park for cashing the 3-round decision for his family and his friends. Next up on the fight of the preliminary card and last one was an actual really good bout between two absolutely amazing MMA competitors. One of them is named Ludwig Klein, who was 17 and 2 at that time, and Mike Trajano was 10-1. Dude, the fight back and forth, man. Klein and Trajano showed he was just being disrespected. They had Klein favored at a number that just it was totally disrespectful to Trajano. If you listened to the show last week, I told you that the plus 205 on Trajano was a little bit too disrespectful. I did like Ludwig Klein. I like his striking. I liked his all-around game. But as you listened, we make smart decisions. I said as dog or pastor, man. I'm not dropping the negative 245 on that. And thank God we're not the type of show to do it. But shout out to Mike Trajano for getting that W win when he had a lot of haters and doubters. So shout out to Ryan Richardson, our sponsor, Kick Your Bass on Twitter, one of the best professional fishermen in the world over in Kansas City. Love you, Ryan. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super heart as well, Moose 1032. You're the man. And all you ladies who support us as well. I cannot thank you guys enough because we want to create a family here where everyone just comes, drops their problems from work, drops their stressors. We there's no religion talk, no politics here, nothing but fun, money to be made. If you want to drink a beer, hit a bong load, whatever you want to do and have some fun, jump in the chat. Escape life for an hour when you're here on the MMA for Money show, and that's what we're about, all good vibes. So at the end of the preliminary card, Mike Trajano cashed a plus 205 for whoever hit that. So shout out to you guys who had the faith in Mike Trajano off the little layoff that he had. So after that, so we went into the main card, and this is where it got pretty interesting. Phil Haas took on Kyle Dawkis. I was, I know that Phil Haas had a significant power and that he was strong, but I didn't think he had the cardio that he showed. He was super impressive.
He improved a lot, man.
Dude, when we're talking about improving, I'm talking about he went from like a 6'7" to like it looked like a 9. He kept putting constant pressure, constant forward volume, throwing just significant strikes. I mean, he threw at the 157 strikes compared to 52 that Dawkis threw. I like Dawkis. I can't even hate on him. But dude, Phil Haas looked absolutely incredible. Shout out to him for the improvements that he made. I love when fighters can take in criticism and go back to the drawing board and do what he did, man. He was also outsized there a little bit. And Kyle Dawkis, it was a great fight, but 3-round decision win for Phil Haas. Shout out to him for winning there. Next up on the card was a fight that I was so close to betting, folks. I was this close. This fucking close.
Dude,
like
Diego looked great in that first round, man.
The fight
looked good.
The fight was Diego Ferreira versus Gregor Gillespie. And let me tell you guys, when I tell you that we're not just firing random bullshit, I'm not. We're just like, oh, let's just run through here and just gonna pick some guys because they said that Ronda Rousey's good. No, we're researching shit so deep, so far. I had a guy on his ass for 3 rounds, and he didn't even need to land him on his ass for 3 rounds. Gregor Gillespie put Carlos Diego Ferreira's motherfucking lights out. Dude, like he didn't pay his electric bill. Diego Sanchez literally curled up like a ball and just took a beating. So shout out to Gregor Gillespie, big fisherman. I love to fish too. Our buddy, like I said, Kick Your Bass. Ryan Richardson's a big fisherman, so I'm sure he loved when Gregor Gillespie knocked that dude out because he always talks about going to go fishing right after he wins because he's a real old school American dude. Not that that's something special. All people are special, but just. He's the old school fisherman hunter type dude. So shout out to Gregor Gillespie there. Let's see what we got here. Next up on the card was the absolute shit show of what I said. We had 2 of the sloppiest, most disgusting beasts that you could have.
That's the worst fight I ever watched. I swear I watched all
guys.
It's the worst fight I've ever seen. It was torture.
It makes me not even want to watch the shit. Okay, I have watched some of the. I have been in Tijuana. When my brother fought, like in the amateurs, and then the semi-pro, like when it's starting to get pro, I have seen better heavyweights that would fuck both these guys up so fast. Look up Wade, the Nightmare Ship. Wade Ship. He's like 6'7", big old white dude that used to throw the meanest kicks. I believe he even fought in the UFC back in the day. He hasn't fought in probably 10 plus years. I guarantee you if Wade came in here, he would kick the shit out of both these sloppy, disgusting, non-professional beasts. They don't deserve to be in the UFC. They don't deserve to be in the PFL. They don't even deserve to be talked about on the show. They're so sloppy and disgusting. Takes the professionalism in your profession. Get a damn diet going. Do some sit-ups. Like, what the fuck, dude? I'm so sick of these disgusting slobs, bro. Like these are pro athletes.
Green isn't a real disgusting physique type
they're
dude,
both disgusting to me.
He didn't want to fight, bro. That's for sure.
They're both soft. And we're going to get into it again. I'm tired of these soft-ass fighters, dude. The old school UFC fighters were about gladiators. They came to kill. They wanted to see someone die on their shield, like blood sport. I don't care if they threw shit in your eyes and then they poked you. Did you see Jean-Claude Van Damme cry river when he couldn't see? Fuck no. He came through with the high kick. He came through and trusted his instincts. These guys now, they're like, oh my God, the dude kicked me. He need me on the ground in a fight. Shut the fuck up. It's a fight. We signed up for a fight. Holy shit, dude, you're lucky you're not in Pride where Phil Baroni is soccer kicking your ass in your fucking face. I cannot believe how soft some of these fighters are nowadays. Green soft, fucking Marcus de Lima soft. I don't even care. I tell it to their face, just like I've told many fighters to their face. All Dom Cruz, who don't even want none of the KOPE. He blocked me because he's so soft. And he knows the real deal beef that we got going on. So I'm for real. These dudes are gross. I'm sorry to go on such a rant, but both are gross. Yes, Green's in a little bit better shape, but for professional athletes, bro, I could go down to the 24-hour fitness and find a guy in a cardio room who looks better than both these slobs, bro. Disgusting, dude. So yeah, so one of these guys won the fight. I'm on such a rant right now. I don't even remember who won because I'm so stupid. DeLima won. He
dominated him. He just sat on top of him.
Pretty much. It was the stupidest lay and pray Ben Askren stuff I've ever seen. Congratulations, DeLima. You won a fight, but your next fight, you're gonna get your ass beat. I guarantee it. And Maurice Green, you should be cut. You suck bad. Now we're gonna move on to something a little bit more exciting of a fight with. We had Neil Magny.
Man.
Yeah, Neil, the veteran Magny fought Jeff Neal, man. Man, dude, I'm one of the only guys who I bet Neil Magny in Mexico City at elevation versus Kelvin Gastelum by motherfucking decision. That's how OG that had faith in Neil Magny. Nobody did that. Nobody can prove they did that shit. I called that shit. I did that shit. So now I have a hate and love relationship with Neil Magny. And so I can never fully back him. And if you go back to the show last week, that's what we talked about. I never know what I'm going to get. It's like Forrest Gump. Mom always said life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That's what you get with Neil Magny. That's what you get with the OSP. That's what you get with some of these guys that make the dumbest decisions I've ever seen in my life. I mean, Neil Magny's a great fighter. I'm not going to shit on him the way that I just dropped major shit bombs on those other two sloppy slobs. But Neil Magny looked amazing as a veteran as he did. He won a 3-round decision, absolutely dominated Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal just looked just a little too out of place for all the skills that Neil Magny brought to the table.
That volume, man. Too much volume, dude.
That volume and cardio. The volume and cardio training at altitude. Hey, thank you guys all for the awards. Ryan Richardson, I appreciate you. The high five from you, Jason. Everybody, I know I just went on a rant with that right there, but I'm just tired of these soft-ass fighters, dude. I either come to be killed or don't come at all. I don't care if
that fight was rant-worthy. That's for sure.
That's rant-worthy.
Terrible.
It's all good. It's garbage, but so yeah, Neil Magny, congratulations. Neil Magny trains at altitude. A really really good professional when it comes to training, man. He works really hard, really good cardio. He's even the type of dude who loses the fighters and he goes and trains with the guy he lost to. Example, Damian Maia. When he lost to Damian Maia, he could not, believe how easily it was for Damian. So he went to Damian Maia's school and literally signed up. I believe he even paid for a lesson with fucking Damian Maia. And shout out to Damian Maia. My son is named after Damian Maia because he's one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world. So I like Neil Magny's professionalism. It's iffy, bro. But he did a great job, won the 3-round decision like nobody's business. And then we had 2 more fights of the night. It was the co-main event. We had Donald, the Cowboy Cerrone, going off against Alex Morano. And let me just start out right now. I'm fucking disgusted. Like, is Cowboy, is he here to fight, bro? Like, are you like, where is Cowboy? Like, is that Cowboy still? Like, he's getting hit and he's folding faster than my lady folds my laundry. It's crazy. I'm not understanding it, dude. Like,
I don't think he can take the shots anymore, bro.
I
think he still wants to fight, and I mean, he's still
he wants to make the paychecks is what he wants to do.
It's one of them Dell things.
But what I'm saying, and I've said on the podcast, Donald Cerrone's body is a super, super soft spot. He cannot take body shots summer day. It was sad, man. I mean, I don't want to see it anymore. What sucks is we should have saw Donald Cerrone versus Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez should have got absolutely murdered, sitting in a hearse. So him and his little girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever the little life coach is he's got going on. And no disrespect to the LGBTQ. I got my cousin who's a trans. I love all gay people, everything. But the point is Diego was supposed to leave in a hearse on a stretcher, and Donald Cerrone wasn't supposed to get beat up this bad today. And we've sacrificed a veteran, on late notice, dude. It's crazy. So I'm sorry, Donald Cerrone, but man, I think it's time to hang it up unless they give you some kind of a gift volleyball.
Yeah, I said that, bro. That's how many losses in a row. He hasn't won in so long, and he just. He got knocked out. Connor knocked him out with his shoulder, bro. Come on.
Bro, a shoulder. He headbutted him. Bro, I grew up with War Machine, who's 4 years older than me. We have a 50-pound difference of each other. My brother has hit me harder than those weak-ass shoulder fucking strikes, bro. I didn't get knocked out. So shout out to Ted Hicks, who just walked in the building. I love you, Ted. You're a great dude. Appreciate you listening from New York City. I'd love to have you on sometime and showcase your host skills because you got a ton of talent. So thank you for being here, Ted. And all you guys, the awards that you've given me, 113 of you guys listen to me just go off on a tangent. I didn't even know if I was going to get this fired up, but it just came, baby. So we're going to keep it going. So after I got disappointed by Donald Cerrone, thank God, once again, your MMA for Money show, we didn't bet that dog shit. We didn't even fire on that. So we just watched it for fun. It's just what we do.
I'm mad I didn't bet Moreno.
I don't know. I'm mad. I'm glad that we don't bet bullshit and we're 6-0 on the last 4 UFC events. So
I felt like Cowboy was done. I should.
Yeah. Either way, enough about Cowboy. I love you, Cowboy, but please just go wakeboarding, retire, sell some beef jerky. I don't know what you're gonna do, but do something else.
Go
please.
Cave diving, dude. I seen him on Rogan.
I don't know, dude. Go dig for gold or something, bro. It's sad, dude. I couldn't believe
Serrano, man.
I love him too, bro. But I don't like watching these veterans coming in for paychecks just getting slaughtered now. It's
I'm with you.
What is sad is the UFC hasn't set up a pension program. There's no 401k. They're like contracted fighters, subcontracted. There's nothing for these fighters after they're done, dude. So you see veterans just with CTE, with no health insurance, with nothing to fall back on. The UFC doesn't even give these guys jobs as coaches in like training facilities. if you think if they were a good company, you'd be like, all right, cool, we'll take the best of the best, like Chuck Liddell, Forrest Griffin, and blah, 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 Donald Cerrone. We'll take all these guys, we'll put them in certain cities, open up a UFC training facility, and let them mentor the rest of the kids, But I don't know. I'm just a guy over here on the internet talking. So, but the last fight of the night was like we talked about last week. I'm sorry we had to talk about it. I can't believe it was a main event. It was Marina Rodriguez versus Michelle Watterson, the karate hottie. The only thing that happened was how sexy Michelle Watterson is when she weighs in. I mean, she's just amazing. I mean, that's all.
I wanted Watterson to win.
I wanted her to win. She was outsized. I knew she was going to be outsized. Marina Rodriguez is the real deal when it comes to volume. She showed that in the striking department, and just was too big for the overall game of Michelle Watterson. But hey, Michelle, don't hate me. In case subscription from the MMA for Money, the legend primetime himself, Jason Torello. Dude, I'm telling you, NASCAR winning like nobody's gosh dang business, bro. He hit again this last.
It's incredible.
It's like you guys would think incredible. You would think that I'm lying or telling you a Ponzi scheme, but about the rate that MMA for Money hits NASCAR, I cannot stress it enough. Get a NASCAR package every year. It will pay for so many things. Your engagement ring. It's sorry if I hit my mic on mute. It will pay for anything that you need, man. I'm telling you, he's an absolute legend, and it's not just with NASCAR. It's with Prime Time. That's his nickname. NFL playoffs, NHL playoffs, every single sport, dude. The women's FIFA World Cup. Jay, how many units did we win on the Women's World Cup last FIFA, Jay? Because I don't want to disrespect you. It was so many damn units on the Women's FIFA
how do you sweep? How do you sweep a NASCAR? Like, it ain't a matchup. Like, he's not picking matchups. He's picking the outright winner of the race.
The goddamn best.
Sweep that shit over the weekend. It's fucking incredible, bro.
He's the best NASCAR better in the whole world, dude. I'm telling you. I promise you. I don't pitch bullshit at all, man. Jason Torello, MMAforMoney.com, NASCAR package. For the Women's World Cup, we won 50 plus units. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but that's a shit ton of money because every unit we throw is $100. Okay, so like I said, just on Women's World Cup, just on dude, it could be. There's another sport he's just insane at that I can't say off the top of my head, but just make yourself go to MMAforMoney.com. Just do yourself a favor. Get a package. It will pay for itself. I'm telling you, the gosh dang NASCAR king, man. I love you, Jay. You're the man, dude. And also, he's responsible for teaching us cryptocurrency and getting us deep into some really good investments that changed my entire bum life from a 13 an hour EMT medic salary where no one gave a shit about me in Los Angeles. I served for 8 years, worked 60 hours a week, had nothing to show for it after that. Now, work for the best union in the world, Local 44. We got this podcast. We got the MMA for Money team. All of our investments are absolutely killing it because we're a team. We're a family. Every single person in the chat, we treat you as family. We want you all to be here. I want your families to be doing so good that you come back one day and that you got a big shit-eating grin that we're the real deal, that we weren't faking about the shit. So when we talk about the stuff that we do, man, it's the cryptocurrency investments that we give advice on. Like I said, we're not professional traders, but we are just the real deal when it comes to picking technology upcoming in crypto. And if you listen to our shows,
did you see what Elon did? What did Elon do today? Somebody said Elon crashed.
I don't know what Elon did, but it's irrelevant. But yeah, dude, Primetime swept the weekend at Talladega, second and third at Kansas, swept the weekend at Darlington. I mean, dude, it's like he's podium finishes MMA for Money Prime every time. I could spend an hour on how gangster he is, but I've already ranted enough. But I love you guys all here in the chat, 121 of you live, the 17 awards. Sorry for the little bit of off-topic rant, but sometimes real Mike gets a little cray-cray. So, but we're going to move into this weekend's UFC. UFC 262, Oliveira versus Chandler. Holy shit, dude. I am so stoked. I mean, I'm an Oliveira fan. I'm a Michael Chandler fan for life. I'm sponsored by the same company as Michael Chandler, Melon Brand Hats. So when it comes to this dude, I know what kind of professional he is. I've seen the type of training he puts in with Henry Hooft. He trains with Usman. Dude, this guy is an absolute animal, man. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But first up on the prelims is going to be my first bet of the night. I'm on a roll firing on these first ones. I'm all about this one. It's going to be Sean Soriano is plus 180 versus Christos Giagos, who's negative 240 at 155 pounds. Sean is 31 years old. He's 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. He's got a little layoff, but he trains at Sanford MMA with Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler talks super highly of the striking of this man. Henry Hoof is super high on Sean Soriano's striking. Like I said, he's got a great camp behind him. I'm just really digging this kid. But no disrespect to Giagos. Giagos is 31 years old, 5'10", 71.5-inch reach. He's fighting out of Black House MMA, formerly Leo Machida's spot to train in Cali. Albert Morales is there, and a few others. So, but on this fight, man, I'm leaning Sean big time. I really think he's the real deal, and at plus 180 is the money line that we had it at. I'm dropping the 1 unit on Sean Soriano to showcase his skills here and absolutely dominate this fight, whether it's a TKO KO, which I strongly believe he could do with his crisp striking, or it's a decision. He's going to be rolling here. What do you think about the first bet of the night, T?
Yeah, I mean, Christos has a bit more experience in the octagon. He's got a slight height and reach advantage, but I don't think he should be this big of a favorite. It's kind of crazy to me. Soriano, he ain't a pushover, and I think the fight should really be closer to even. So I was leaning go dog here. So when you said you liked it for the bet, I'm right with you, man. Like I like it. I think he'll get him here, and it's just way overpriced. Crazy.
Yeah, buddy.
But yeah, next up on the card, we've got Kevin Aguilar versus Tucker Lutz. This, I think, is going to be an interesting fight. Good matchup. Tucker's young. He's only lost one fight. Lutz likes to take people down. He has some real good ground and pound. Aguilar's on a 3-fight losing streak, so he really needs to get a dub here. He's got a solid stand-up, and he's going to be looking to stuff the takedowns, keep it standing. But if Kevin overextends on the feet, I think Lutz is going to put him on his back, take him down, and win with the ground and pound. But what you think about this one, man?
Yeah, this is an interesting fight. Kevin Aguilar, at the time of writing, this was plus 105 underdog versus Tucker Lutz, who's negative 125 at 155-pound division. Lutz is 26 years old, 5'7", 72-inch reach, coming off the Contender Series W. Aguilar, 17-4, coming off 3 losses. He's 32 years old himself, 5'7", 73.5-inch reach, so pretty similar in all aspects, other than Lutz is a little bit younger and a little more athletic. The weird thing is that Aguilar calls himself the Angel of Death, but has got nothing but handled as of late. Yeah, like I said, he's coming off of 3 losses, and when he has one, it's mostly by decision. I think Aguilar's peaked, and it isn't really about that Angel of Death life. So I'm going with Tucker Lutz to showcase his skills and win a dominant 3-round decision. So next up on the card, we got man, this is one of those fights that I just like. This is the UFC, and this is like what we get. We got Gina Manzani, who's negative 210 versus Priscilla Cachoeira, I believe it is. Hold on, I messed that up. 1 second. Yeah, Priscilla Cachoeira. So yeah, this is a weird one, man. Gina Manzani. To be honest, guys and gals, I don't have much nice things to say about this matchup, and specifically Gina Manzani. So we'll get to the point and get to Mike's dick point number 1. Manzani is an absolute bottom of the barrel women's MMA fighter. Like, are we serious with Gina Manzani, a girl who's never won 2 fights in a row since 2008 when she fought a slushy vendor who begged to take the fight in Alaska? Number 2, her claim to fame is now beating up a girl who makes more money selling booty pics on fans only. And I'm not going to lie, I may subscribe to Rachel Ostovich myself, but that's besides the point. But this is the UFC and not a stripper versus a girl who fought some MMA. Priscilla's 9-3. She's fought legit fighters, and the only loss was to Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko, my other wife. So make sure you don't tell my lady. So I can't even hate on that. As a dog in this fight, Priscilla's the right side here to bet, and I'll pick her to win a decision, especially at the dog money. It's dog or pass. Gina Manzani, she's not about that life. So at the plus 175, I really think that there's a value on her there.
Yeah, man. Mazzani, she's looked better since she moved to Glory MMA. She's got a good amount of experience. She just can't string wins together, and she always loses to good competition. I don't see why she's a 2-1 favorite. I think that's insane. So, I kind of liked Coachera here, and that's probably where I get bet, and it's probably going to go to decision, is what I'm thinking. But after that fight, we'll have a pretty good one. I think it'll be an exciting fight. We have Jordan Wright versus Jamie Pickett. Pickett, he's got a slight reach advantage. Wright got KO'd by Buckley his last fight, which was his first loss. And Pickett coming off a loss to Tafon, who just got handled by Park this last event. Wright gets hit a lot, and he's fearless. So it's really a coin toss, but I think Wright may be a bit better than Pickett, so I'm kind of leaning his way. But what you think about this one?
Yeah, this fight specifically. Let me get to my notes. Sorry, I don't know how I lost it. You kidding me right now? What did you do, Michael? Oh, okay, yeah. Jordan Wright. All right, so Jamie Pickett's negative, at the time of writing this, is a pick 'em, negative 110 versus Jordan Wright, negative 110 at 185 pounds. Jamie Pickett, 11-5, 32 years old, 6'2", 80-inch reach, super powerful, athletic guy when he throws punches and bunches. He's the type of guy that would smash Jordan Wright in a fight in the streets and possibly in the octagon. Wright is that type of soft dude that when he gets hit, he folds really fast, man. I just don't see him being the guy that gets popped in his face with all Jamie Pickett's might, and he reacts well. I know he does have decent striking. He's kind of like a wannabe point fighter, like the Wonder Boy Thompson, but he's not even 1/100th of that guy. I really don't believe that Jordan Wright is that type of dude. He ain't about that life. I believe that in almost any day, if Jamie Pickett and Jordan Wright we were at a bar and they both walked outside and Jordan Wright said something to Jamie, I'm pretty sure that Jamie Pickett would end Jordan Wright's night and KO his ass straight on the floor. So I really think that Pickett is aggressive. He's long in his reach, and he's going to come in there heavy-handed. So unless Jordan Wright can keep the point fighting, at bay and keep distance, he better watch out, bro, because there's going to be some fire coming fast from Jamie Pickett, because he knows that Jordan Wright ain't about that life. And if I am correct, you should see Jordan Wright sleeping on the canvas.
Yeah, he's got a good reach advantage too.
Yeah, and he's just mean, bro. Like Jordan Wright, he just looks soft, bro. He ain't about that life.
Yeah, I hear you. I think it's gonna be, that fight will probably end quick, because Jordan Wright, I think he'll just run out there and start punching, man. So we'll see what Pickett does.
Yeah, so be super exciting. And then so next up on the card, we have Andrea Lee, who's plus 120 at the time of writing this, versus Antonio Shevchenko, negative 140. We have a nickname for Antonio. She's called Shevchenko Light, because the real Shevchenko is Valentina, and Shevchenko's the real deal Holyfield. I love Valentina. Not a big fan of her sister. I really didn't even need to take notes on this fight, because Shevchenko is soft, man. Her takedown defense is soft. Her volume isn't that great. She hits really wimpy. She's lost to some really soft fighters. Andrea Lee, though, on the other hand, I'm high on her. Yeah, she's coming off some losses that are a little sketchy. I don't think she lost all three. A couple of them I had them for her. But I think she's just, to me, they're saying that Shevchenko's the better striker. I don't believe that. I don't believe it at all. We're going to find out. But I also believe that Andrea Lee is more powerful in the clinch game, and she will be able to trip and or get a single leg, double leg, and get Antonio against the wall and get her down on the ground. She's got very long legs, Shevchenko. So, I mean, it's very easy for you to pick that ankle and take you down. I'm not saying that she has that type of wrestling Andrea Lee does, but I just see Andrea Lee favorite. I just like Andrea Lee a lot here. I literally might better myself, because I just feel like she's the better fighter all around. So I'm rolling with Andrea Lee plus 120.
Yeah, I mean, it's a must-win fight for Lee. She's coming off 3 straight losses after she started her career off real nice, but she popped off quite a few wins. Shevchenko, I mean, I think she had better stand-up. The Chook again fight, she got handled on the ground, so that's Lee's route to victory. So if the fight stays on the feet, I think Shevchenko, she'll get it. likely win by decision. But Lee's never been finished by punches, so that doesn't spell well for her either. So I can see Lee just putting her on her ass and just beating her up, you know.
Yep.
But yep, next up we'll have a another decent matchup. We got Mike Grundy versus Lando Venata. It's a close one. Grundy coming off a loss, but he was rolling before that loss. Venata, he's very inconsistent, and he can't string wins together. He'll win one, lose one, and he's coming off a L to Bobby Green. So with Venata's inconsistency, I'm going to lean Grundy on this one. I think most likely we'll see it go to a decision, and that's, I think, at minus 180 right now. So that might be the bet I place if I bet this one. But what you think about it, Mike?
Yeah, this is a very interesting one. It's going to be a great fight to watch. You got Mike Grundy, who's 34 years old. He's 5'7" with a 72-inch reach. He was negative 115 at the time of writing this, and he's going off against Lando Venata, 29 years old, 5'9", 71-inch reach at the negative 105 price tag. This is the first time that Lando Venata is going to be fighting at 145 pounds. Lando has a lot of power and really good striking and kicking in a diverse game. But the problem with the movement and the striking and all of that and the kicking is he seems to fade kind of later in the rounds. And so the guy that we get in round one, he is not that guy in round three. He's never that guy. It's like he gives you like this fireball guy, like, you know, something out of Street Fighter round one, and then all of a sudden round two and then three, it's he's deflated. So this one is going to be it's going to be interesting. Grundy on the other hand is not the type of guy to KO you on his feet. So Lando Venata has a really good chance of a possible head kick, possible striking advantage. But Mike Grundy's grappling and wrestling is I think good enough to ground Lando enough times to make it not such a exciting decision. But I think that Mike Grundy could possibly grind out a 3-round decision, and it could be really boring.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So next up on the card, the last one on the prelims is Matt Schnell. He was negative 160 at the time of writing this versus Rogério Bontorin, who's plus 140 and they're fighting at 125 pounds. Man, Matt Schnell is super sneaky, man. He travels around a lot of places, and right now he just moved to Fortis MMA to sharpen his game, and his BJJ is already slick. His striking is always what's worried me a little bit because he leaves himself open for damage because he sometimes wants to fight a little bit of like Julian Lane, let me bang bro type stuff. And so that kind of worries me with Bontorin because Bontorin is a little super aggressive Tasmanian devil with some good jiu-jitsu himself. This dude's going to be coming forward with pressure. Matt Schnell to me is better when he's pressuring forward, and then he can implement his game and then get the guy down. The jiu-jitsu game on this one is going to be really, really fun to watch. It's going to be whoever makes a mistake first that I think is going to end up winning the fight and possible sub. But it's hard for me to. It's a tough one. I'm going to go with Schnell because of the experience and because he trains so well with a high level people. But don't get it twisted. I'm not betting on this. And as a dog, Bontorin has a way to win this, and it's with power with his hands as a bully, Matt Schnell up against the cage, possibly clip him, possibly take KO him. So you don't know, 100% don't know, but Matt Schnell is what I would lean barely.
Yeah, I like Schnell in this matchup. He's got the height and reach advantage. Bontorin's coming off 2 L's, and Schnell, he's got a pretty nasty choke. So I think he could get him with the sub. I was telling Mike I think he could get him late, but Mike was telling me in jiu-jitsu, as you get sweaty, that gets harder. But I still lean Schnell here. But after that, I think this is still a prelim. I'm not sure. They keep switching it up on us. But the next
you're right.
fight,
I messed up actually. Sorry, you're on the final.
No, they switched it. They put Schnell and Rogério on the main card, but it doesn't matter, man. It's all good. But next up, we'll look at the Giacara Souza versus the Muniz fight. It's a pretty even matchup. Giacara, he's 10 years older. He's got a ton of experience, and he's got sick jiu-jitsu. Muniz, he's got the huge reach advantage, and he's coming to the fight on a roll. But Giacara, he's the OG. Think he might have too much experience for Muniz. it'll be a pretty interesting fight. But I mean, I could see Giacara just kind of flipping him over and kind of just edging out rounds here and there, and then getting a decision. But what you think about this one, man?
Man, one of my rules on the MMA for Money show is I dislike, I have a rule, I cannot bet against the veteran, but Souza's the type of veteran. It's like, yeah, his jiu-jitsu game is absolutely filthy. It's the jiu-jitsu game is not gone. So I that's not what I'm worried about. It's literally getting knocked out by Kevin Holland while he was like in top position at one point, and then on his butt. Like, is his chin
weird, man?
Dude, it's so. KO. I mean, I've been in that same position in jiu-jitsu, and like it's crazy, like how much power that Holland generated to end up clipping him, and then making Souza just drop back against the fence. And so with this one here, it's very, very strange. Dawkis Souza obviously got way more experience. He's 41 years old, he's 6'1", 72-inch reach. It's a pick'em fight. Andre Muniz is 31 years old, 6'1", with a 78-inch reach. He's got a 6-inch reach advantage. He's got 10 years younger. I mean, man, if Souza doesn't get this fight to the ground, I have a really bad feeling about the 6-inch reach advantage that could possibly just club to death Souza, and it could happen. So I'm gonna, man, dude. I think I'm gonna go with Souza because I always go with the OG vet, and because I just cannot not do it because of the experience of Souza. I'm not betting my money here, and don't be surprised if Muniz finishes him with punches or something crazy with that 6-inch reach advantage.
It's gonna be like that Verdum Bellator.
Yeah.
They switched that. Bro. They canceled that, bro.
Bro, which one?
The Verdum. They gave that.
They took it away.
Bellator. They switched it. I gotta look it back up. But my boy texted me about the bet. His bet being canceled. He didn't know what was going on. I'm like, we got to talk to the bookie.
Yeah, well, it did look like a tap, but it wasn't the biggest tap in the world. So that was a weird PFL thing. But it is what it is. So with that said, that was That was the last one on the prelims. So now we're going to jump into the main card of the evening. And this fight is going to be really exciting. We have Shane Burgos, who's -115 at the time of writing this, fighting Edson Barbosa, -105 comeback. They're fighting at 145 pounds. If you don't know who Edson Barbosa is, please do yourself a favor and go back to some of his kicking highlight reels. This guy is infamous for some of the most vicious leg kicks that you've ever seen. His switch kicks, the way that he just flawlessly lifts his legs, it's so just like you can't even see it when it's coming. He's 35 years old, though. He's 5'11". He's got a 75-inch reach. The power with those kicks he lands is just unfreaking real. But the problem with that is it takes a lot of energy to keep up the movement that Edson Barbosa uses to keep, to keep circling away from the power punch, which is fine and all. But then he's throwing kicks, and then that ends up gassing his cardio a little bit earlier than I like to see. So later in the rounds, his kicks don't become as powerful. But then we have Burgos, 30 years old, 5'11", 75.5-inch reach. Super crisp boxing, throws beautiful straight combos, but when he gets hit, he comes forward for revenge, and that could be a detriment to him versus a guy like Edson, because Edson could throw a high kick and time it. He clips you just a little bit, and you come excited in the pocket. These veterans have the skills where they could end your night. But in this specific spot, I think Edson Barbosa's done. I'm not going to back the veteran in this one. It's going to be the one rare time where I'm going to be going Shane Burgos. I think Shane Burgos is going to have enough forward pressure to keep the leg kicks just non-existent, because he could just be beating the shit out of him against the fence. But that's my opinion on that one. I'm going Shane Burgos to win that fight.
Yeah, I mean, this one should be a war. I'm excited to see this one. Barbosa, he's the vet, the OG. He's coming off a much-needed win at the end of the 3-fight losing streak for him. And Burgos, he was rolling and lost a close one to Emmett. It's a tough fight. It's an even matchup, I think. And with Barbosa having experience, I kind of lean to him. But I like Burgos, man, and I like Shane, so I wouldn't mind seeing him knock him out. But it'll be an interesting fight. See how it goes, I guess, when we get in there. But Next up, we'll have Caitlyn Chook again versus Vivian Orahu. Chook again, she beat Cavillo her last match, which was a solid win. Cavillo was rolling before that, and Caitlyn, she's solid on the ground. Her takedown defense isn't the greatest, so Araújo, she's got solid takedown average, so I could see her having success with that. And Vivi, she has great takedown defense, and it should stay standing unless Vivi's getting the takedowns here. So I think she's a bit better than Caitlyn. If she can't land some power shots, I think she'll take her down and score points that way. But what you think about that this fight, Mike?
Yeah, we cast Chook again versus Valentina, or the Shevchenko light. So I know when to fire on her. She's a BJJ brown belt from Renzo Gracie, which one, the infamous Gracie. So she definitely has her jiu-jitsu game, is really well versed. Her striking game, let's just be honest, she literally sounds like Serena Williams hitting a tennis ball. So next up on the card, you want this one too? You want me to get it?
Yeah, man, I'll take it. I got my video queue messed up. They took that other fight to move it to next week, but I'll get it. Next up, we got a great fight, man. I'm really interested to see this one too. It's Tony Ferguson versus Beneil Dariush. It's a good matchup. I like Ferguson, but I just wonder, man, is Ferg done? I think might be the same case as Cerrone, bro. If the old Tony shows up here, it's gonna be a hell of a fight. But honestly, even if you get the old Tony here, I think Dariush is gonna whip his ass. I mean, Tony's gonna be hella motivated. But I just think he's got too much mileage on him in the octagon at this point, and I just think Dariush is a little bit better everywhere. And I mean, Tony's willing to get crazy, but Dariush, he's kind of like a quiet psycho too, and he'll get in there and bang with your ass. So I'm gonna go with Dariush here. I'm pretty confident about it, to be honest. As I said, I think he's better than Tony. I still think Tony's a good fighter. I just don't think he can do what he used to do,
Yeah, totally.
What you think about this, bro?
Yeah, this is going to be our second bet of the night for the MMA for Money show. Like I said, we had Tony Ferguson versus Beneil Dariush. Man, I'm Tony Ferguson. I love Tony Ferguson. Don't get me wrong. He's a warrior. He works really, really hard. Great work ethic, but he surrounds himself with yes men. Yes men do not make you better. When you're the big fish in the pond at an MMA gym, you are not going to get better. He's training with Ben Saunders. Ben Killaby Saunders. That's my brother's boy. I don't want to get too disrespectful, but it's Ben Saunders, guys. That's who you're training with. That's your fucking literally your training partner for Beneil Dariush. That's not even close to the type of fighter that Beneil Dariush is. He's got good jiu-jitsu, but you're training with a guy who's like 5 inches taller than fucking Beneil's gonna be. Beneil Dariush, dude, is mean. He's peaking at a perfect time. He's very, very just a very good person, a great mixed martial artist. He's a great role model for your kids to follow. Dude, his MMA game is disgusting. Both these guys are Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but BJJ black belts. We are going to have an absolute treat on the transition and the submissions and all the things that go down. The thing that Tony Ferguson has an issue with is that he accepts his back way too often. He's okay with being on his back. On the judges' scorecards, being on your back does not score very often. Tony loves to do the wildest, dumbest shit. And I love it as much as I do as a fan, but it's not something that I could advise on betting. I think that Beneil Dariush is the real deal. I think he's peaking just greatly. I think Tony Ferguson is declining greatly. I also think that Tony is not surrounding himself with the right people. I love Eddie Bravo, for being just fun and stuff, but he is not. He is in no way a real legit mixed martial arts coach or at anything other than BJJ he should be doing. These guys like Mike Brown, Henry Hoof, all these other camps, Eric Del Fiero over at Alliance MMA. Herman Tirado, real fighters over at freaking Gamebred Training Facility. I mean, like, what is Tony doing, bro? Dude, yes, we're betting on Beneil Dariush at the -155. We're going to be putting down 2 times, so 3.1 units. We're doubling it up because I believe that Tony Ferguson is done. His time's over. I believe the UFC doesn't like him. They're not going to market him, and he also doesn't help himself with the way he speaks with the interviews. He's disrespectful to the media. He talks about the most random garbage conspiracy stuff that you could ever see. So I'm rolling with Beneil Dariush all day. Family man, wonderful person, absolute crazy jiu-jitsu black belt with mean striking. I think that Tony Ferguson's going to end up doing some stupid spinning like elbow, and Beneil's going to be right there waiting with a big ass right hook right to his face. So I'm rolling with Beneil Dariush to absolutely wreck Tony Ferguson, send him back to the Stone Age and back to the conspiracy theories of the flat Earth that Eddie Bravo preaches. So let's fucking go, Beneil.
Yeah, we was gonna max bet this shit too, but with the -155, we're gonna keep it at 2 to win 2. So
yeah,
but I'm feeling good about this one.
Definitely. And so last but not least, the main event of the evening, an absolute treasure to have as a fight for us to watch. We have Charles Do Bronx Oliveira, who's -135 at the time of writing this, versus Michael Chandler, who's +115 on the comeback as the underdog. We'll start out with Charles Oliveira first. Charles Oliveira is an absolute stud. He literally. His BJJ game is disgusting. He's literally grown from the beginning. You can hear me, right, T?
Yep, you good.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I got all loud. He's been in since the beginning, Charles, of the UFC and of his whole career. Charles Oliveira has literally grown in the UFC and grown from a boy to a pretty savage man. His jiu-jitsu game is nothing to play with. I still feel like he thinks that his striking is a little bit better than it is. I feel like he's falling in love with the TKO KO type victories, and the likes. Michael Chandler is a D1 All-American wrestler. His transitions, submissions, or not just submissions, his transitions in wrestling and scrambling and the pressure and the pace that he's going to put on Charles Oliveira is going to be something that Charles Oliveira has not seen in a long, long time. And I just don't see Charles Oliveira doing much to Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's stronger all around or on his body. His legs are thicker. He's going to have a shorter base, which is going to be easier for the wrestling takedown. Charles Oliveira's got small legs so he can use it for a takedown. When you have a great wrestler and a great jiu-jitsu guy and someone with a great wrestling and top, they can control their weight on top of you very well, like Michael Chandler. It sometimes supersedes even a good BJJ practitioner. I'm not saying he can't get sub. It's Charles Oliveira, but at the plus money at 115, we're throwing down 1 unit to win 1.5 units on Michael Chandler to be the new champion of the world and represent melon brand hats, baby. So let's fucking go, Mike.
Let's do it, dude. Yep, this is a great matchup, man. Great matchup. Do Bronx, he's super aggressive, fearless. I love watching the dude, and I was even saying, I didn't know if I wanted to bet against him. I might just watch this fight, but when me and Mike talked about it, and I really like Chandler too. And what pushed me over the edge with Chandler is he's getting disrespected. It's like dudes are sleeping on him. Do they not know who he is? Do they not know his skill set? I mean, the dude's a bad motherfucker, man, and I really like the dude.
And not to mention, we look at the line movement. 67% of the money in the public. 67% of the money. 67% of the money is on Charles Oliveira. So I'm all day, all for being on the opposite side of the public and all their money they're slamming. So let's go, Michael Chandler.
That's what pushed me this way too, for sure. But Do Bronx, he ain't a pushover. So
no.
It's gonna be a good fight. But yeah, man, Chandler's the real deal, bro. I think he's gonna get it, dude. And let's roll with Melon. Hopefully we can get him on the show after too. We got the goal, dude.
Dude, it'd be so awesome. Yeah, we tried to get him here on the show, but he was so focused on this fight camp because
man. I didn't want to bring him in. Bro.
Yeah, no, he took this fight on a pretty quick notice. He's been fighting a lot this year, so shout out to Michael Chandler and his family and everyone in the likes. I'd just like to shout out all the 130 plus in here that supported us. We appreciate you and the 20 plus awards you've given us. We hope you enjoyed the show this week, and like we always like to say at the end of the show, if you guys you can every single month when you get paid, please start investing 5 to 10% of your money into some stocks or cryptocurrency, something to help change your life for the future, because investing is going to help you in the long run, and they don't teach that in school anymore, and a lot of places don't teach that, even your own parents. So we thank you for tuning in to the MMA for Money show. We're going to be here every Wednesday night now at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 Eastern Standard Time, because the Ultimate Fighter is now on Tuesdays. So we will be able to recap Ultimate Fighter after it happens on Tuesday, now on Wednesday.
Yeah,
we'll give you guys a little more.
Right behind you, bro.
Yeah, we got the real old Tough Fighter season 6 jersey behind me from Big Bro War Machine. But either way, I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and for everything. So with that said, make sure that you guys don't forget to subscribe to us on your platform of choice: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Casts, RSS feeds, and please join HAPS. HAPS TV is the future. David Newman, Pablo De La Hoya, Peter Bittner. There's so many of the people I'm forgetting. Mark Goldman, I believe it is.
Appreciate the nomination and winning that broadcast of the week last week.
Yep, we got the honor last week of one of the shows of the week for HAPS. So we couldn't do it without all you fans. We love you very much. Keep spreading the positivity and the good vibes across the world, because we need to keep doing it so that everyone can get happy. And so with that said, you guys, much love. Stay tuned and keep rolling with us with the MMA for Money team.